Since the start of COVID, I have transitioned to a hybrid work from home schedule and realized how much I needed to improve my old setup. It was bad. To create my dream, I knew the right desk accessories would really help create a comfortable space, improve productivity, and hit my goal for aesthetics. These are the 5 desk accessories I'm currently using that I highly recommend you consider as well. Now, if you're like me and you're not great with your cable management, the ultimate cable management box is something that you absolutely have to consider. Now, in the past, I have been awful with my cable management, as you can tell with my previous home office setup, as well as my desk in the office at work. But recently, I've kind of pivoted or transitioned into being obsessed with minimalism and really keeping my home office setup perfect. This is where the cable management box makes it super easy for me to hide all of my different types of wires, no matter their thickness or how bulky the brick or power adapter may be for that particular wire. There's also a ton of access points on the back, sides, and the bottom, which use a rubber grommet to hold the wires in place and create that nice finished look. Once you have everything kind of piled into the cable management box, it easily closes and hides that ugly mess. Now, this thing is solid and definitely very spacious, so it should work for almost everybody's needs. If you're looking to create that perfect ambiance for your setup, I'd highly recommend taking a look at the Philips Hue light brand. Now, I've got 3 different lights that I'm using across the setup here, and the first is the Philips Hue white ambiance bulbs that I just put into my, honestly, ugly repurposed lamps for my previous setup. These only provide different levels of white, but really kind of help me set the tone for my space. To be honest, I don't really use color in any of my lights unless my kids decide to change it. Behind my monitors, I have 2 play lights from Philips Hue, which help me push light up against the wall on the acoustic panels as well. Now, these provide a full range of color options should you choose to do that. Finally, underneath my desk, I have the Philips Shape light strip. This was a bit of a miss here on my end that actually ended up working out better than I had planned. My original hope was to bend these around the bottom of my entire work surface, but they didn't really bend that well. Ultimately, I ended up doing a single strip by the cable management box, and this really makes the frame and wire box pop. Overall, I'm happy with the Philips Hue product. They're more expensive than the Govee products that we're using in the office setup, but compared to Govee, I believe they're much better quality. In the office setup, I've noticed there's an annoying buzzing sound coming from the Govee lights, and they just don't feel quite as high of quality. The BenQ Screen Bar is a light bar that I've used and featured in a handful of videos now. I've also found this to be the most consistent and customizable light bar that I've used to date. This is the only brand that I've tested that also has a functional asymmetrical light source. Now, when we pull up the white paper test, you can see here that there is a defined line where there is a dark shadow. This means that there isn't any light bleed from the screen bar onto your monitor. Now, all of the other light bars that I've tested have advertised this function, but none of them have actually worked. The BenQ also has a wide range of adjustment, not just for its brightness, but also for its color range. I found that the auto sensing function on it, which adjusts depending on the brightness in the room, is a nice function to have, although I don't necessarily like to use this, as I like to kind of set it up manually for my own needs. The touch sensors on the light bar are very consistent and easy to use, and there's other products like the Basis light bar that wasn't nearly as intuitive as the BenQ. I also found that this product from BenQ fits on most monitors very well, including different thicknesses and different shapes like the iMac. I'm excited that BenQ has recently reached out and is planning to send us the wireless version to test in a few weeks. I also plan to buy the Xiaomi, I believe that's how you say it, light bar as well, which is a more cost-conscious option available. The MX Keys keyboard is the first nice keyboard I've bought for myself, and to be honest, the only other nice keyboard I've used is our Keychron K4, which is in the studio office setup. I found that it's a bit too loud though, and I'm not really a fan of how thick the overall keyboard is. The first thing I noticed though about the MX Keys was how solid it felt in my hands. The single metal plate design is heavy and feels well built. From an aesthetic standpoint, the low profile design with the matte finish keys are perfect for my minimalist vibe with my setup. I have found it to be quiet and the keys were stable and consistent. You may have noticed each time I approach the keyboard with my hands, the backlight illuminates. This is a proximity sensor function, which is super cool in my opinion, and helps to conserve battery life as well. There's a ton of customization with this keyboard in the Logi Options Plus app. You can see all the different ways you can change each button in the app, which is something we'll take a little bit closer look at when we look at the Logitech Flow when paired with the MX Master 3 mouse next. Like the MX Keys keyboard, the MX Master 3 mouse is the first nice mouse I've had at my home office setup. In the past, I've always used the cheap combo keyboard and mouse from the Logitech brand that are typically found at superstores like Office Depot. I have to say, just from a purely ergonomic standpoint, the MX Master 3 is incredible. It fits in my hand like a glove, and aesthetically, it also hits in all the areas I wanted to complete the look of my setup. Coming from a mouse with only 3 features, scroll, and 2 button clicks, the MX Master was a huge boost to my productivity. I use a lot of different Excel and Google Sheets for work, and the side scroll feature is super slick to have. I also kept the front and back buttons as they were set up from the factory settings, and this makes browsing the web a lot quicker. And since I'm doing a ton of research for videos like this is a really nice feature to have. As you can see here in the Logitech Options Plus app, there are a ton of different customization options available. My favorite feature though with the MX Master 3 is the ability to use multiple devices with the same keyboard and mouse. Hit the easy switch button and you can move between 3 different devices, and this feature alone saves a ton of space on your desk and makes you even more productive. But this feature is second to the Logi Options Plus Flow feature, which allows you to move between devices as if you were using 2 different monitors, not 2 separate devices. Just slide the mouse to the edge of the screen and it will auto-change the keyboard and mouse to the second device. You can also change the settings to require you to hold down the control and slide the mouse to the edge of the screen to prevent you from accidentally moving the mouse to the other device. Hopefully one of these desk accessories will help you level up your setup. Now, if you haven't seen my setup tour, check out the next video. Thanks a lot for watching.